I'll show you guys again how the 23-year-old Caliper looks like. Surprisingly, we never had any leaks from here, under this boot, from the piston, but it started to develop a leak in this area, in the parking brake mechanism area. It started to leak, and that's why we are replacing both of these calipers in our RSX. This is brand new caliper. Guys, this is how it looks. You got all the new rubber. We'll use the brake discs from a premium as well. We have two new ones, guys. We will install the new brake pads as well. The new caliper is slightly different than the original. This means we'll have to remove this bracket from the parking brake cable and install the new one instead. And only now we managed to remove the bracket. Use wheel chocks to block one of the front wheels from both sides. Put the vehicle into first gear and fully release the handbrake. Now we will loosen lug nuts on both wheels before we lift the vehicle. Now we'll use a hydraulic jack to lift the back of the vehicle. This is a bracket in the middle that is a designated point to lift the back. Position the jack stand underneath the metallic point on the side of the vehicle in the back. Do it on both sides, and the height has to be the same. Remove the lug nuts. Now we can remove the wheel. Put the wheel underneath the vehicle, like this. We'll be using the brake caliper from a premium. You guys can get them on Amazon. I will leave you links in the description. This is brand new caliper. Guys, this is how it looks. You got all the new rubber, parking brake, spring. This is how it looks. This one is for the right side, and we have one for the left as well. Besides that, in the set we've got the new banjo bolt. We have pad retainers, and we have a couple of new washers as well. First we will remove this bolt that holds the brake line in place. It's 12mm socket. As you can see, guys, this is why important to have proper tools, and impact gun in this case works perfectly if it's an older vehicle. Now we will remove this banjo bolt. We'll use again 12mm socket. Unscrew counterclockwise. Should be fairly easy, and after that, guys, the brake fluid will start coming out from the line. Carefully lift it up, and we will move it, guys, into the container for the brake fluid. Now we will need to disconnect this parking brake cable. It's attached to this spring, so we'll use the pliers to push it like this, and then you will be able to remove it with your hands like this. Now we will remove two caliper bolts. There is one on top and one on the bottom. For this we are using 14mm socket. Now we'll remove two bolts that hold the parking brake bracket. Again, we're using the gun. And one more. And this is 12mm bolts, guys. Now I can use a pry bar to pry off the caliper. It may be stuck, guys. This one is not bad. And now the whole caliper is off. I'll show you guys again how the 23-year-old caliper looks like. Surprisingly, we never had any leaks from here, under this boot, from the piston, but it started to develop a leak in this area, in the parking brake mechanism area. It started to leak, and that's why we are replacing both of these calipers in our RSX. Now we can remove both brake pads. Since we'll be replacing the brake disc as well, we will need to remove this caliper bracket first. For this, guys, again, we'll use the gun and 14mm socket. And we have to remove these two bolts. And the bracket is off. To remove these two screws on the rotor, we'll use the hand impact driver, because if you guys try to use regular screwdriver, you may damage the nest and won't be able to remove the disc. So the way it works is you hit it with a hammer and it will unscrew. And as you can see, guys, it works right away. And the disc is off. You need to clean the rust from the hub where the new disc will go. This will guarantee the proper placement of the disc. We'll use the brake discs from a premium as well. We have two new ones, guys, in the set. This is how they look. They are covered in oil, so what you need to do before you install it, you have to wash it. You can use a dish detergent, just wash it off, and then you'll be able to install those discs. Now we are ready to install the disc. Make sure that these openings match when you install it. And now we'll reuse the same screws. Their main goal is to hold the disc in place during the installation. The new caliper comes with the caliper bracket as well. So we will install the new one, but before that we have to unscrew these two bolts and remove the bracket. We'll use the thread locker for the caliper bracket bolts. Apply a small amount and spread it out. Do it on both bolts. The new bracket comes pre-lubricated, that's why you don't have to remove the pins and replace the lubricant. The new bracket goes in. The torque for the caliper bracket bolts is 41 foot-pounds. And also guys, as you can see, we reused the original bolts. They do not come in the set. Now we can install brake pad retainers. One of them will go right here on the bottom, push it in all the way. The second one will go like this. We will install the new brake pads as well. Acura suggests to put the lubricant on the shims, on top and underneath, so that you don't get the noise when you guys brake, so that the shim doesn't move between the piston and the pad. This design is slightly different. They have glue on this side of the shim, so this will again prevent the noise on itself. So design is different from the original brake pads. That's why we won't be putting any lubricant right here. Also, when you install them, make sure you have the same type. So this wear indicator has to be located in the same area when you install the brake pads on the right side in this case. We will apply a little bit of synthetic grease, lubricant, approximately right here. This will make sure that our brake pads slide on the metal. The brake pad with the wear indicator will go on the inside, like this, and the one without will be outside, this way. Now we'll need to remove the bracket that holds the parking brake cable. One thing I would like to point out is that the new caliper is slightly different than the original. The angle of this end is slightly different, so it's tilted a little bit like this compared to the original, but this is compensated by this bracket which we just removed from the new one. And as you can see, it is different as well. If you compare it to the original, this means we'll have to remove this bracket from the parking brake cable and install the new one instead. And only now we managed to remove the bracket. We will install the original bracket in place now. We'll use the thread locker again, and the torque for these bolts is 16 foot-pounds. And it's a good idea, guys, to check them, to check the torque on both calipers for this bracket. And now, guys, we'll be able to install the bracket. There is only one way how it can be installed. You have to align it properly, then it will go through. And fits perfectly. Push it all the way. And now we can install the caliper in place. Now we will install bolts. This is our lower bolt, and right here we have the upper bolt reinstalled. Now we'll use the torque wrench to tighten them. Torque is 16 foot-pounds. Now you can reinstall the parking brake cable back in place. Now we're ready to reinstall the banjo bolt. For this you guys need first to remove this cover that prevents the dirt from coming into the new caliper. And now we'll need to use the two washers, new ones that come in the set. Both of them will go one on top and one below the new banjo bolt. Now we'll use the torque wrench again, and the torque for this bolt is 25 foot-pounds. Now we can reinstall the bolt that holds the brake line in place. The torque for this one is 16 foot-pounds. We have replaced the calipers, rotors and pads on the left side as well. Now both sides are done. Again guys, make sure that you check all the torques when you tighten your bolts, and check the condition of all the brake lines. Make sure there are no leaks, and the next big step will be to flush the brake fluid in the whole system. And we will show you how to flush the brake fluid in the system in a separate video. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.